To be followed by Kenneth Gibson, around 4 minutes.
I do hope that the SNP eventually overcome their Brexit derangement syndrome, because frankly I read some figures out, many other bits of data are available that show that in fact it is the genius and the driven energy, the animal spirits, if you like, of Scotland's businesses and the UK's business sector that have meant that we are making a success of the new arrangements that are now well in place after 5 years. I do hope that the SNP will catch up with the rest of the country and with the Scottish business sector, and I will happily give way to the Deputy First Minister.
The business sector. So what does he say to a third of Scottish businesses that responded to the Business Insight and Conditions Survey in November 2023 that listed Brexit as the main cause of difficulty to export?
There were many issues in the years that COVID was one of them, for example. And yes, no one denies the bumpiness of the exit from the European Union, and no one ever projected it would be a smooth transition. But however, it has gone exceptionally well, and the numbers are there. And I would encourage members, again, as I did yesterday, please, let's look at the evidence. Let's look at the evidence that is available, rather than just chuntering on about some mild condition of prejudice that the members suffer from. Enterprise is Scotland's engine. The SNP need to realise this, and they need to stop behaving, as they often do, as a regulatory monster, burdening businesses instead of backing them. And let's remember, Murdo Fraser, absolutely right, Scotland's single biggest export market is not the EU, not Asia, but England. And trade with the rest of the UK accounts for over £52 billion a year. That's two-thirds of all Scottish exports. And that is why, and I say this to the Labour benches as well, that is why the UK Internal Market Act is so indispensable. And frankly, any attempt to tinker with it would damage jobs and investment. Of course I give way.
Gordon MacDonald.
I thank the member for giving way. He's referred to the trade that Scotland's got with England. Did he read in the third version of the Development and Internal Market that England's trade with Scotland is £75 billion?
Stephen Kerr.
It's a mutual arrangement. Of course it is. My goodness me, that's the nature of business. We sell, we buy. That is the nature of the union, and that is exactly why UKIMA is such an important piece of legislation, because it guarantees Scotland and Scottish businesses frictionless access to the UK market, and that sustains most Scottish livelihoods. And we should be celebrating the landmark £10 billion order for the Type 26 frigates from Norway, and an order years in the making and secured because of the UK's national shipbuilding strategy launched by a Conservative government. It will sustain over 1,200 jobs directly and thousands more in the supply chain. And critics scoffed at the national shipbuilding strategy when it was launched. But today, I think those critics owe an apology to the men and women on the Clyde because of the delivery of this order. I will give way to Paul Sweeney.
Does you not find it rather odd that, despite the national shipbuilding strategy being around now since around 2019, that there has been very little engagement from the Scottish Government on delivering it, despite the bulk of the UK shipbuilding industry actually being in Scotland?
Yes. This is another one of their derangement syndromes. They're not prepared to face up to the realities of our country and its economic makeup and the sectoral strength of defence, because they are ideologically opposed to so much the defence sector represents. I'm probably straying into time problems, but
I can give you the time back.
I'm happy to give way to the Minister.
Minister.
I don't want to disturb the better together cooperation here that's going on in the Chamber, but can I just point out that the Scottish Government has worked very closely with the defence sector since we came to office in 2007. Indeed, over £90 million worth of support has been given to that sector, and we recognise the importance of this sector to the Scottish economy.
Stephen Kerr.
That will be why some ministers and many MSPs and MPs won't even meet representatives of the defence sector. So I find all of that horribly inconsistent. Horribly inconsistent. But I think we should praise that incredible export order of £10 billion. We have other things coming along as well. Murdo Fraser mentioned this order alone benefits over 100 Scottish businesses, 54 SMEs. And then we've also got the Type 31. The Type 31 is another fantastic opportunity. Denmark is mentioned, Sweden are also interested, Poland, Indonesia. And it's not just the construction of these wonderful products that we're talking about, it's also selling the design, because the design alone has brought in, selling the design to Canada and Australia has brought in over £1 billion, and that directly benefits Scotland. And so there's much to talk up when it comes to the defence sector, but I know that there is a split personality at work in the SNP. They cannot bring themselves to celebrate Scotland's successes in this sector for ideological reasons, and they are hostile, frankly, to the defence sector. They've derided those companies for years, they've neglected them, they've ignored them, they've boycotted them, but they are building the very technology that keeps us safe. Now, there's much more that I could say. I hope you might agree, I've been willing to engage in a debate here, but I would say instead of debating at the level of student politics, this Parliament should champion Scottish enterprise, back innovation and open the doors to the world.